In mid-2023, a Nike and New Balance distribution center in Cook County, Illinois, began experiencing unexplained losses. Entire pallets of sneakers, some of the most in-demand models, were vanishing from the inventory. At first, it wasn't obvious. The scale of these operations makes minor discrepancies routine, but this wasn't minor. Between July and October, more than $1 million worth of sneakers disappeared from the warehouse. It took months before the company and law enforcement traced the thefts to a single individual, 20-year-old Xavier Cotton, a Chicago man with direct access to the facility. According to prosecutors, he was quietly moving full shipments out of the building, stealing not just boxes, but full pallets of product, without raising immediate suspicion. This isn't about high-tech hacking or elaborate break-ins. It's about how someone working inside the system used familiarity and opportunity to exploit a major logistics operation, and got away with it for a while. Today, we're breaking down how it happened, how the arrest unfolded, and why thefts like this are becoming more common in the global sneaker economy. The warehouse at 1600 Village Drive in Cook County, Illinois, isn't just any shipping facility. It operates as a distribution hub for brands like Nike and New Balance, handling bulk inventory before it's shipped out to retailers or fulfillment centers. These types of warehouses are designed for speed and volume. Product arrives by truck or freight container, gets scanned and sorted, and is moved out within days or even hours. On the surface, it's efficient. But at that scale, things can slip through the cracks. This particular theft happened in a space where hundreds of thousands of dollars in merchandise can move through in a single day. And when you look at what's being stored, sneakers, it starts to make sense why this location became a target. The sneaker market is booming. As of 2023, the global sneaker resale industry alone was estimated to be worth over $10 billion, with projections reaching $30 billion by the end of the decade. That doesn't include primary retail sales, which already surpass $75 billion annually across major brands. Sneakers have become more than athletic gear. They're collectibles, fashion statements, and in some cases, investment assets. Limited edition models like Nike's Travis Scott collaborations or New Balance's Joe Fresh Goods drops can fetch 4 to 5 times their original price on platforms like StockX, GOAT, and Flight Club. But even general release pairs, especially when stolen in bulk, can yield huge profits on the secondary market. A single pallet might contain 500 to 1,200 pairs, depending on the packaging and model. Let's say even a mid-tier pair like the Nike Air Max 90 retails at $130. Multiply that by 1,000 pairs, and you're sitting on $130,000 worth of product. 5 pallets, you're easily over $500,000. That volume and value makes sneaker warehouses a prime target, not just for organized retail crime rings, but for insiders who know how to exploit internal systems. And internal theft is more common than most people think. In 2021, a Nike contractor in Memphis was caught stealing high-demand sneakers and reselling them online. In 2022, U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized over 250,000 counterfeit and stolen sneakers during a raid linked to a trafficking ring operating out of New York and Los Angeles. And those are just the cases that went public. Warehouses are often under tight schedules, short-staffed, and focused on moving inventory fast. Security cameras might be limited to main entry points. Many rely on manual logs and outdated inventory systems. And unless there's a major discrepancy, large-scale losses can take weeks or months to be noticed. So when we look at what happened in Cook County, it's not just an isolated event. It fits a pattern, a booming industry with high resale value, a distribution model built for speed over security, and a system that can be gamed by someone with access and patience. And that's what makes this story worth paying attention to. In our case, prosecutors believe he used that inside access to load entire pallets of sneakers, likely containing hundreds of pairs at a time, and remove them without triggering alarms or raising suspicion. These weren't isolated incidents. According to official reports, the thefts occurred repeatedly over a span of 4 months. The man at the center of this case is Erick Lujano Bautista, a 26-year-old man from Chicago. At the time of the thefts, he had access to the distribution center, though it's still unclear from public reports whether he was employed directly by Nike or working through a third-party logistics company. What is confirmed is that he had the clearance needed to move product within the facility. According to the charges, he simply used his position to bypass normal inventory controls. By the time anyone noticed something was wrong, over $1 million worth of inventory had vanished. He was eventually arrested on June 27, 2024, and charged in Cook County with felony theft and burglary. These are serious charges, and given the value of the stolen merchandise, they could carry significant penalties if he's convicted. At the time of his arrest, officials had not yet disclosed whether any of the stolen sneakers had been recovered or how exactly the goods were moved off-site and into the resale market. Questions that remain central to the investigation. While this case is notable for the amount stolen, it's not an isolated incident. The sneaker industry has grown into a multi-billion-dollar global market. Limited edition drops, high resale prices, and growing collector demand have turned sneakers into what some describe as a form of modern currency. That economic pressure doesn't just drive buyers, it drives theft. According to a report by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE counterfeit and stolen shoes are part of a much broader trend. In 2022 alone, authorities seized over 250,000 pairs of counterfeit sneakers in a single investigation tied to a trafficking ring worth $30 million. While that case involved fake goods, it shows just how valuable branded footwear has become and how frequently it draws criminal interest. In the case of Bautista, the stolen merchandise wasn't fake. These were authentic Nike and New Balance sneakers, likely intended for distribution to retailers across the region. In an industry where single releases can resell for several times their retail price, stolen goods like these can move quickly through informal or secondary markets. Warehouse thefts like this highlight a key vulnerability in the supply chain, the point between product manufacturing and retail sale. And with massive volumes of product passing through distribution centers every day, a single breach, especially from the inside, can go undetected for weeks or even months. The case is still moving through the legal system, and a lot of details, how the thefts were pulled off, where the shoes went, and whether anyone else was involved, haven't been made public yet. But what this case already highlights is something bigger. As sneaker demand continues to surge and distribution networks stretch to meet it, theft at this level isn't just possible. It's becoming increasingly common. Whether it's large-scale counterfeiting or someone moving product quietly from inside the system, brands are finding themselves vulnerable in places they can't always see. Cook County may just be one story, but it's part of a broader reality. The value of a product isn't just in the price tag. It's in how it moves, how it's protected, and who's watching along the way. We'll keep an eye on this case as it unfolds.